Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be putting to the test the new Revolution Concealer. This is Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer, claiming to be wearable for 16 hours. I'm going to be wear testing it like I would a foundation, so if you would like to see how long it lasts, how well it wears, how well it covers an oily, acne prone skin, then just keep on watching. I'm going to read the claims like I would with a foundation. The ultimate full coverage long wear 60 shade concealer, Conceal and Define Infinite. Our best ever concealer offers 16-hour wear with 20% more pigment and 20% more coverage. The formula has been infused with cyanamide, making it perfect for blemish-prone skin with its soothing and anti-inflammatory properties. Suitable for all skin types, this concealer offers full coverage whilst remaining crease-proof, cakeless and breathable for natural second skin finish. Designed to be multi-use, this product is also perfect for contouring, full face or targeted concealing thanks to its infamous dough for applicator and stretchable formula. It's nice to see that you're able to do a full face because that's kind of what I'm aiming today. I got the shade 5 and it's described to be suitable for golden undertones. I didn't realize that because I was in store when picking out the shade. Let's zoom it in and let's put this on. Today I've zoomed you in even further, even closer to me than I usually do, so you can really see the discoloration under my eyes and obviously all of my spots. I have some redness around my nose. I actually quite like my forehead. I only have the odd blemish or the kind of residue of a blemish, which is the discoloration. Majority of the spots that you see on my cheeks is discoloration, thankfully, but I do have some fresh spots as well, so we'll definitely be able to see what coverage this concealer has. My under eye is very like green. My whole eye area is like a beigey dark brown kind of shade. I have some greeniness, blueness in the very inner corners. I'm actually quite lucky in my opinion to have this kind of under eye. It's not that bad. I actually don't mind it. Let's get into this. Oh, a very big doe foot applicator. It smells like the Conceal and Define foundation, the first one, not Hydrate. I'm going to start with my under eye and I will use a sponge first. Okay, alright. Wow, yeah, the coverage there. So we can see the very clear difference between the two of my eyes. This has already, brightened up my whole face. Like it so far. I can still see a vein on my eyelid. Apparently you can build this, so maybe I'll be able to build the coverage. I don't mind it, to be fair, but I wonder whether it will cover my spots. Let's try the other eye and maybe try a brush, because why not? The shade isn't bad, to be fair. It could be a little bit lighter when it comes to being an under eye concealer. I do prefer the finish with a sponge. It does work, it does blend out with a brush obviously, but I don't like it as much. And I'm immediately using what's on the sponge to blend in on my nose. And even a very light layer covered the redness of my nose. So far, I kind of like it. It does have a matte finish, like a powdery finish almost, but it did crease under my eyes. There isn't a single concealer that I used that didn't crease under my eyes. So I expected this. I'm definitely going to powder it down after doing my whole face. Okay, let's do my whole face, shall we? I'm going to put some on my forehead. You might think this is crazy, but I guess we can also test out the cakiness of this concealer. But for my forehead, I like it. Let's do the better cheek. I could do individual spots, but I just have so many that it might actually take ages. Let's do this. Wow, look at that. I'm also taking what's in the sponge on my chin. I don't need a lot of coverage there. I don't need a lot of coverage in the center of my face. I like this a lot. Like I said, it's a very high coverage. It's not full coverage. It doesn't look like a full coverage foundation, but it does look like a very high coverage foundation. And the finish, I like that a lot, like a lot. I mean, this side, very impressed. Let's do this. So I did 3 dips, and let's see. Can we have this but in a foundation formula? Because this, honestly, the finish looks better than the original Conceal and Define foundation. I feel like it does have a little bit, like the tiniest bit of natural finish to it. I feel like the Conceal and Define foundation is a little bit more matte than this. Some of the spots still peek through, but apparently you can build this. So let's do some spot concealing with the spots that I didn't manage to cover. There isn't a lot, honestly. Let me put some more under my eyes. I like this concealer a lot. I wonder how well it wears on the skin, like on the face. That's why I didn't want to do the concealer just under the eyes, because generally speaking my under eyes look good. Like, there isn't a concealer where I thought I needed more coverage because there isn't as much discoloration there. It doesn't rub off, it doesn't come off. Like, once I put a concealer under my eyes on, it stays put all day, so it would be a very difficult test for me to do, like if it was just under the eyes. The only thing I can test it for is whether it creases or not, but you know, I can't test the longevity. Wow, it does build nicely. Again, on my cheeks, almost a full coverage. For drugstore, definitely one of the best. I was expecting to be surprised in a very good way, but not this much. When it comes to my face, I don't think I'll powder it. However, I will powder my under eye. I have very deep lines under my eyes, and I'm using RCMA no color powder just to set. And you can see it on my eyelids, it's starting to crease. I definitely need to powder my forehead as well, because my favorite line is creasing also. So if you're expecting to put this on and leave the house without setting, yeah, you might not want to do that. Okay, it is 9:15. I'm just gonna say 9:30, 9:30. Let the wear test begin. I'm gonna finish my makeup off camera and we're gonna wear test this. If you've ever wondered what the weather's like in England, I mean, I usually don't look better, but I don't look this bad. 2 hours in, you guys, and this is what my face looks like. As we can see, there's a little bit of shine overall, but I have to say, the foundation, no, the concealer is holding up really well. Ignore my sweat gash. Just got home, I had to power walk because it's like so cold, but now I'm really warm. I think my texture is emphasized like near my nose. Look at my nose. Oh, and did I rub some off? I think I did. My cream bronzer, you know, Revolution matte base concealer that I used to bronze with, didn't really work on top of this. It's way too matte. It really reminds me of the Conceal and Define foundation, the first one, not the hydrate version. But so far I like it. Let's carry on. Let's see whether it will come off. So far I'm wearing a turtleneck as well. Like, so far, it hasn't rubbed off that much, which is really, really good. 4 hours in, this is what my face looks like. I'm shiny in the center of my face, especially. Look, oh, and the foundation is coming off a little bit. I am gonna blot because I do want to wear this for a little bit longer. That's the transfer. Overall, it's still there. After blotting, it actually doesn't look bad. The under eye, ooh, did crease a little bit, you can tell here and here, but like I said, looks good. Let's carry on. We shall see what happens in a couple more hours. Hour number 6, friends, this is what my face looks like. There's a little bit more shine in the center. I have very oily skin. If you're new here, I do get shine throughout the day, but I've got my toilet roll at the ready to blot. However, I want to show you the face before blotting and after. Around my eyes where I powdered, it does look a little dry and cakey, and even that powder didn't prevent the concealer from creasing. It is a very thick concealer. You can see on my eyelids, because I did put the concealer on my eyelids, but I also did put a matte eyeshadow on top to seal it in so it doesn't crease, but it did. My forehead was powdered and you can see it's there. It creased. I'm very surprised that my neck isn't as bad as I expected it to be. You know, it is hour 6 and yes, there's rub off, especially like right here and right here, but for someone that always has this, and I was wearing a turtleneck earlier, it doesn't actually look that bad. This huge spot is slowly rubbing off as well. There's some cakiness around my mouth. That also happens a lot. I was sweating earlier and it didn't come off my forehead. So that's very, very, very surprising. Some of my redness is peeking through around my nostrils. You can probably see it. I love the face that I'm doing right now. Let's blot, because I reckon it might disturb the base a little bit when I blot. I'm still shocked that I was able to use this as a foundation like all over my face. And to be fair, it still looks fine. I'm not shiny anymore. The coverage on majority of my face is still the same. It's not bad. Hour number 8, this concealer claims to be 16-hour wear, so we are halfway through the time. This is what my face looks like. I do apologize that it's a little bit lower of a quality, but it's getting dark outside. Let's have a look what's happening. It is holding up really, really well. To me, between the hour number 6 and hour number 8, there isn't much difference. There was just a little bit more shine in the center, which obviously for a person that has oily skin, that's gonna happen. There isn't any more creasing than there was at hour number 6. So, I mean, it's a good concealer. Like, I like it. I like it a lot. 10 hours in of this concealer wear test, I am shiny once again, very, very shiny, but the light is pretty bright, so just saying. I want to zoom you right in because I want you to see that there's foundation missing on my nose. When I showed you earlier, you can tell around my nostrils that area is very, very red. There's barely any concealer on my chin. The concealer is most certainly starting to break down. My under eye is still dry because that's the only part of my face that does not get oily. But it did crease even a bit more than it did earlier, in my opinion. I mean, that's not gonna get any better. For hour number 10 and for having it all over my face. It is a concealer, it's not foundation. So for that, like, it still looks good. Hold on, let me blot. Even though the foundation is breaking down and obviously I don't look good, I don't look fresh, there's coverage missing, my nose looks very, very red, and the foundation overall is breaking down, even in the center of my face now, I still think for an hour number 10, this does not look bad. If you ignore this spot and then ignore what's happening on my chin, you think, yeah, I'm wearing a foundation and I've been wearing it for a couple of hours and I have oily skin and it's been worn. Honestly, very, very like this concealer, but the creasiness is very, very annoying, and I've powdered. It's a good concealer, it has a lot of coverage. If you want it for spot concealing, I reckon it would be great. If you want to use it under your eye, use it sparingly because it is very creamy and it will crease on you. Crease proof? No, but is it worth the price? Is it worth buying? Yes, because I really, really like it. I think the coverage is one of the best at the drugstore. Will it replace some of my favorite concealers? Probably not, but I will carry on using it and I will probably, you know, update you in the future, so you should subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed this wear test. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I hope to see you next time.